Dank times, Danker thoughts, sweet vibes and taking it sleazy. The dankness is taking over, nonsense is dancing through his mind. Oh, the dankness is taking over. Dank times, Danker thoughts with Angelo Grosso.
All right, everybody, welcome to another podcast with me, Angelo Grosso. This is Dank Times, Danker, episode 57. Should be a pretty quick one. I am on a short week since I will be heading to Seven Bays, Washington. That is Eastern Washington, between us and the border of Idaho. I'll be heading there for a couple days for the 4th of July with a couple friends. Pretty excited about it. But because I don't have a full week to edit this podcast, I'll pretty much make this one a quick one. Keep it pretty light so that I don't bore everybody right away. There is one subject that I've been wanting to talk about for weeks, but before we get to that, I do have a little bit of some dating updates. No, I'm not currently with anyone, God no. But it's been a couple weeks now since my last relationship, and the online dating has been picking up about the last week. And I know I say that all the time, but usually in the past, when I've said it's picking up or it's been busier, that means I usually get 2 to 3 legit connections a day. But after a couple days, they drop off. So I would say in weeks prior, out of every 15 connections, only 2 last longer than 3 to 4 days. So that's where we are now. There are a few that I'm talking to that have been over a week long. Talking to one now about meeting up for, a little dinner or lunch or something next week. There's been a few that I talked to that haven't worked out. I was chit-chatting with this one Chinese girl, and I don't want to sound like a broken record, but I am 0 for 60 when it comes to talking to Chinese, Hong Kong, or Singapore ladies. And I don't want to stereotype. I really do not want to do that. And I don't want to say all of them are doing the exact same thing. However, they all are. And some of you may be saying, well, no shit, Angelo, it's a scam. Well, yes, but there's scams involving all races of women. But the Chinese ones tend to be, well, again, I don't want to say they tend to be all fakes, but they all tend to be self-reliant when it comes to finances, which is not a bad thing, and if anything, it's a positive. But it's just the cryptocurrency. They will not drop it. Every single one I've talked to, they bring it up. It's their lifeline, and they want me to do all of that with them. And when I tell them I don't want to do cryptocurrency, I don't like it at this time, I have my own investments with the stock market, I am completely happy. We literally can talk about anything else. They will not drop it. I had one girl wish me death. That was about a month and a half, 2 months ago. But I've been talking to one for about 2 weeks. And the first week was really good. I was starting to get somewhat excited about meeting her. But because of my past with these Chinese women, I thought, well, inevitably, she's going to bring up cryptocurrency, which she did. She was the worst one by far. Because that was it. That was what she only was talking about to me. Even when I begged her to stop, I told her time and time again, not for me, not at this time. I'm glad you like it. I'm glad you're making money. Hurrah to you. She wouldn't drop it. So finally, after the 3rd or 4th day of this, I told her, I don't understand why you're not understanding me when I tell you this. Cryptocurrency, no. Stock market, yes. I feel safer in the stock market at this time. I told her, maybe a couple years down the road when cryptocurrency isn't so volatile, so that China and rich people like that son of a bitch from Tesla, Elon Musk, and there's just too many people that can alter it for everybody else. And I understand with my generation and the Zoomers that cryptocurrency really is our retirement at this time, because this country doesn't give a fuck about us and our retirement. So I understand the attraction to digital currency. I really do. In fact, I'm not against it. I'm just saying at this time, it is a clusterfuck to me. She would not let it go. I finally told her, if that's all you're going to talk about, we're done talking. Then she called me stubborn, and I said, about this I am, but so are you for not letting it drop. Again, I told her, we can talk about anything else. If you want to meet up, I'm happy to do it. I think we've built some level of a bridge to one another, but now it's starting to shatter. Now it's looking like every bridge in America. You know what I'm saying? That infrastructure bill needs to come ASAP. She wouldn't let it drop. And so then I called her a monster for not dropping. A little dramatic on my part, but I thought she called me something that, and it turns out she was just trying to be funny, I think. And then she joked that I called her a monster because she was too tiny to be a monster. And I was like, oh my God, this is getting stupid now. So I ended things. I don't want to talk to you anymore. Then I deleted everything, but then she messaged me back calling me a pig. Calling me stubborn like a pig. And I said, okay, I'm stubborn like a pig. And then she just called me a pig, which is not okay. But me being an asshole, I wrote back oink, oink, oink with a smiley face. She wrote back calling me a child. And so I wrote back goo goo gaga with an emoji of like baby toys. And then she kept insulting me, and I just kept playing along with it. And then I deleted it. And then she wrote back a third time trying to show me how much money she made that day off cryptocurrency. And I told her the last time, if this is all you're going to talk to me about, we're done talking. Good luck with life. Good luck with cryptocurrency. Good luck finding someone. And I told her, not to be an asshole, but I told her, if you're looking for someone who you want to share cryptocurrency with, put that in your dating profile. Put that in there so that jabronis like me don't swipe right on you and then end up being extremely disappointed. She then called me a litany of names again. Then she said that I'm going to, what did she say? I'm going to be alone forever. Then again, there was some language barrier. I think she was getting worked up. She said something about me not caring about her if she died in the street, or I don't know. It was getting crazy. It was getting crazy. So I think I dodged a bullet there. Blocked her this time because I was sick of getting those messages. And after that, there was a few girls that I was talking to for about a day or two, and I let myself get excited about one of them, and then the profiles just disappeared. So who knows if that was an actual person I was talking to or a bot. I don't know. It's still a little shitty. I have not gone on a physical date with someone for about a month and a half now, 2 months now, which is not a bad thing. I'm talking to a girl now about next week, but I think I already mentioned that. And there's a few others I'm talking to, but again, there's nothing serious. But I just thought it was funny that every single Chinese, Singapore, or Hong Kong girl, it's a high chance that it's a spam or a fake account. Or if it is a real person, inevitably it turns to cryptocurrency. And I know what you're saying, Angelo. Well, stop swiping right on the profiles. Well, I don't want to assume every single Chinese woman is a scammer or is only interested in cryptocurrency with American men. I cannot believe that. I can't. There has to be one real person in there that can respect my wishes and I can respect theirs. So I swipe right regardless of the person's race, you know? I don't like to put people all in that bucket. They're not all scammers and fakers. Not every Russian account is spam. Not every Chinese account is spam. You know, not every Indian account is spam. Because I hate to break it to everyone who does believe in those things. I've been ghosted, only fanned, catfished by white women more than anybody else. With Asian women, it just tends to be the cryptocurrency that's the killer. So that's the update. Looking forward to my trip that's coming up in a couple days. We're going to go to Spokane for a full day, and we're going to go to a couple wineries, I believe. And there's also a couple casinos out there, which you never know what kind of trouble your boy's going to get to in those casinos. I'm not a big gambler. I'm not. I only play the slots. I don't like table games. And the reason slots are so easy for me is I think that I can read the machines. You can't. You can't. And I like it how it's instant gratification. And I do like the fact that you can choose the slot machine by the dollar amount. And I tend to play the dime and quarter ones every now and then. But if I win big, I think, let me play the dollar ones a little bit. I rarely ever lose my ass on slots. Probably because I never gamble with more than like $100 to maybe $150. This trip I'll probably take out about $150 because I'm on vacation with some friends. I'm gonna bring a cigar if you can smoke in there. I hope you can. I'm gonna dress up. I'm gonna wear a bolo and an all denim outfit, because you're in Eastern Washington. This is how they dress. If I can find a cowboy hat, I'm gonna wear one of those too. So I'm pretty pumped. But yeah, maybe I'll meet someone out there in Idaho or Spokane, and we will have a long distance relationship even though we're in the same state. But anyway, let's move on to a topic that I've tried to cover multiple times over the last month or so of podcast episodes, but I just haven't done it. And the subject is updating who is on American currency, the bills and the coins. So here we go. I've referenced in past episodes the need to update some things in America, such as the Pledge of Allegiance, the Star-Spangled Banner, our national anthem, things like that. And all those things are still true, but I've wanted to elaborate on updating our currency because we've had the same jabronis on our currency for a long time. So to do a brief recap on who's on what, because I worked in banking, so I know who's on every coin and every dollar bill, and even some of the rare ones I know. But let me just give you a quick rundown who's on what bill and what coin. George Washington, everybody knows that jabroni, is on the $1 bill. Thomas Jefferson's on the 2. Abraham Lincoln on the 5. Alexander Hamilton on the 10. Andrew Jackson on the 20. And he's soon going to be replaced by... what's the woman's name? I'm drawing a blank. Harriet Tubman, Jesus. Harriet Tubman's going to be on the 20 here soon. Ulysses S. Grant is on the 50. Ben Franklin is on the 100. McKinley is on the 500. Yes, there are such a thing as a $500 bill. Grover Cleveland is on the $1,000 bill. James Madison is on the $5,000 bill. Some jabroni named Salmon P. Chase, that is Abraham Lincoln's Treasury Secretary, is on the $10,000 bill. And the biggest boy of them all on paper is Woodrow Wilson, is on the $100,000 bill. Moving on to coins, Abraham Lincoln is on the penny. Franklin D. Roosevelt is on the dime. Thomas Jefferson is on the nickel. George Washington is on the quarter. Geez, didn't we see 3 of those 4 jabronis on paper money and they get the coins too? Come on. And then we got the Sacagawea golden dollar and the Susan B. Anthony silver dollar. Now, I'm not going to talk about how we should really go away from paper money and just stick with coins, because I believe that's what a lot of other first world nations do, and it'll be cheaper in the long run, because I think the last I read, it costs more to make pennies and nickels than it actually is worth. So like, I think it costs like, I'm gonna make this up, it costs 4 cents to make a penny, which is worth 1 cent. I don't know if that's accurate, but that's what I've heard. So to recap, we have 7 people on paper money that we use all the time, and then you have 5 rare paper money amounts, which I think we can probably knock it down to maybe 2 or 3. We don't really need the $100,000 bill. I think we could use the 5, the 1,000, and the 10,000. I don't know if we need the 5,000. So for the sake of this, we're going to use 3 rare bills. We're going to use the 7. Is it 7? Yeah, 4 plus 3 is 7, Angelo. Really good. Technically, we have 4 coins and $2 coins, so Fuck it, 6 coins. So I made a brief list of who I think we should update on our money. And I think we can probably combine a few of these, because I have a dream for the $2 bill, which we make it the comedy bill, and you throw on a bunch of comedians, and you could have one comedian in the center, and then you can have 4 different ones in the corners. So I guess we can start with the $2 bill. With the $2 bill, front and center, I want Mel motherfucking Brooks on there. If you don't know who Mel Brooks is, he is a titan of the entertainment industry. He's one of the few EGOT winners, meaning he has an Emmy, he has a Grammy, he has an Oscar, and he has a Tony. He's made some of the biggest classic movies, stage plays that's ever been around. Look up Mel Brooks. If you don't know who Mel Brooks is, something's wrong with you. Spaceballs, Blazing Saddles, a whole bunch of others. And then I think in the 4 corners, you could have comedians. Here again, I just wrote down a few. Bill Hader, Paul Rudd. You can maybe bring back some of the older comedians, such as maybe one of the Stooges, maybe one of the Marx Brothers, maybe Chaplin. Charlie Chaplin would be good. I know you're thinking, Bill Hader and Paul Rudd, those are random. Well, I personally love those two. So you can have Paul Rudd and Bill Hader up top, and at the bottom you can have historical ones like Charlie Chaplin. And, oh, God, who would be a good... You can't have someone who's part of a group. So the Stooges and Laurel and Hardy are out. Buster Keaton? That would be a good one. So I'm going to write this down. So the $2 bill, you got Buster Keaton, Chaplin, Brooks, and Bill Hader and Paul Rudd. Now for the $1 bill, let's face facts. George Washington is already on the penny, if I'm not mistaken. No, George Washington is on the quarter. Washington can only be on one. He's probably, along with Lincoln and FDR, the only carryovers that we can have, because the rest, enough is known about them that they're still important historical figures in American history, but enough's enough. Washington's important because he was our first president, and he didn't do it single-handedly, but he did win us the Revolutionary War, and he needs to be on something in here. So for the sake of this here, he's going to be left on the quarter. Lincoln, you can have the penny. But that opens up paper money. So on the $1 bill, I'd like to throw a little curveball here and put Jackie Robinson on the $1 bill. You should know who Jackie Robinson is. He broke the color barrier in baseball, and he became an icon after that. Baseball has retired his jersey. They've made plenty of movies, plenty of books. I mean, you know who Jackie Robinson is. Get the hell out of the country. So I would have him on the $1. Now, we've already discussed the $2. Now, the $5, I wrote down Kurt Russell because I love Kurt Russell. But since the $2 bill is the comedy bill, you would have to take maybe another bill that's lesser used. And so you'd have to look at what bills are used less. The 5, the 10, or the 50. I would imagine the $5 bill is used less in today's economy because everything's so goddamn expensive. So on the $5 bill, you could have maybe movie star bill. You could have Kurt Russell on there. And I know the $2 bill, they're all Hollywood people too, but they're all comedians, comedic actors. Maybe the $5 bill could be action heroes. And you'd want to have, here's a good one. On the face of the 5, you're going to have Bruce Lee. Bruce Lee is going to be the big face on the 5, taking over for Abraham Lincoln. And then the 4 in the corner, oh man, this may take me some time. Maybe I'll come back later, but definitely Kurt Russell, because he is one of the greatest American cult actors out there. For one of the cult actors, you may also want to put De Niro on there. He's not really a cult actor, but he's been in movies so long. I guess Kevin Bacon would be the ultimate cult actor, but I don't know if I want Kevin Bacon on the money. But definitely De Niro, definitely Kurt Russell. You'd have to have maybe an old-time actor or an actress. Who was the actress that was really smart, but she was also a sex symbol? Was it Rita Hayworth? Didn't she create something? Let's see. Which Hollywood bombshell created, and I'll just leave it at that. No, not the movie Bombshell. Ugh. which Hollywood celebrity woman God, I cannot spell celebrity. Come on, man. Angelo, you know how to spell celebrity. Apparently you don't. Celebrity. There we go. I'm pretty sure it's Rita Hayworth. Ugh, I have to look that up. There was one famous actress way back in the day. She was known as a sex symbol, but she also created something major, like for camera, and it's being used in digital cameras even today. So she's going to be on there. I don't remember who she is. You can't just have a straight up sex symbol on there like Marilyn Monroe. But you know what? She was important to America. So fuck it. Marilyn Monroe's on the 5. So the $5 bill is going to have Bruce Lee as the center. Then you're going to have Kurt Russell and De Niro. And Marilyn Monroe. And I believe it's Rita Hayworth. Don't quote me on Rita Hayworth. But you know what? I have the internet up here. Let me just type in Rita Hayworth and see if that's who I'm thinking of. Rita Hayworth invention. Am I right here? Yeah. Oh, Hedy Lamarr. Motherfucker. I'm in the right era. Hedy Lamarr. She basically created Wi-Fi and GPS and the on-screen orgasm. Now, why was I thinking of Rita Hayworth? Did she do anything? Well, whatever. But Hedy Lamarr, that actress, wow, she basically created some communication technology in the 40s that would eventually lead to the creation of the Wi-Fi, GPS, Bluetooth, and yes, she was one of the first actresses to have a quote-unquote orgasm on film. So she should be on the money for that alone. Now, moving on to the $10 bill, I think we should have Bass Reeves on there. No, I don't know if it's pronounced bass, like the music, or bass, like the fish. Now, some of you may be thinking, who the hell is Bass Reeves? He was an American law enforcement officer. He was the first black deputy U.S. Marshal west of the Mississippi River back in the 1800s. He worked mostly in Arkansas and the Oklahoma Territory. During his long career, he had on record more than 3,000 arrests of dangerous criminals and shot and killed 14 of them in alleged self-defense. But this is alleged self-defense in like the 50s and 60s and shit. And he's also the inspiration for the Lone Ranger and the Gunslinger, the TV show. Not Winona Earp, that's a TV show. Wyatt Earp. I think he knew Bass Reeves too. But just look up Bass Reeves. He is a incredibly important figure in early American Western frontiersman law and order. And the fact that he was the first black one, and he was the inspiration for so many things, but you know, the most important and well-known one is the Lone Ranger. If you just look up Bass Reeves, he's got the best fucking mustache I have ever seen. So that's who's going to be on the $10 bill. Now the $20 bill, I don't have a problem with Harriet Tubman being on it. My problem is the image they're using for Harriet Tubman is not very flattering. Now, I know what you're saying, Angelo. It's not meant to be flattering. We're not going to sexualize a woman who helped free slaves through the Underground Railroad. We don't need her in a thong and bikini. I get that. But can you at least make it easier on the eye? Surely there's a good picture of her to use. I do want us to use Harriet Tubman. I think it's incredibly important. But you gotta get a better picture of her, you know? Moving on to the 50. If you want to keep it with black women, I don't know why Susan B. Anthony only has a coin. I think Susan B. Anthony should have her own bill. So I will throw her on the $50 bill. And on the $100 bill, I want to have Jimmy Carter on there, former president, who has revolutionized what ex-political figures can do in this country. He was given a shit sandwich as a president. He followed the quote-unquote people running the government, the know-it-alls, and they fucked him and backstabbed him, and he never got a full term. He was kicked out. But if you look up what Jimmy Carter wanted to do in this country, he was Bernie Sanders before Bernie Sanders. He was putting, what do you call those things that use the sun to pick up energy? Sundials? Solar panels, Jesus Christ. I'm dead sober here, people. I haven't hit weed in about 12 hours. He wanted to put solar panels on top of the White House. He was big on the environment. He was big on cleaning up the ocean. Anyway, do your homework. We all know Jimmy Carter. All right, he's like 97 years old, and he's still out there every day building houses for the less fortunate, using his name to help further causes. And the guy's, he's like a Mr. Rogers. In fact, if you want to have the ultimate bill, you could put all of the important people in the last 50 years in America that are not actors or athletes, but are civil servants in a sense. So like you could have Mr. Rogers. Okay, here's what we're going to do. You're going to have Jimmy Carter front and center on the $100 bill. But then in the four corners, you could have people like Mr. Rogers, the Afro white guy who painted. What the fuck is his name? I bet if I just type in white Afro painter dude, he's gonna come right. Yeah, Bob Ross. I don't know how I could not think of Bob Ross. Who else? You'd have to have two other people like that has made it there. Oh, LeVar Burton. Didn't he? Is that who I'm thinking of? LeVar Burton. Yeah, LeVar Burton could go on there. Gets a little diversity on there. And you know what? Fuck it. Alex Trebek. He's the first one that comes to mind. Oh, LeVar Burton's taken over Alex Trebek. Maybe that's why he popped in my head. So maybe Alex Trebek is an iffy one. But overall, I have to say, on the paper money, I think we did pretty good. And then you get to the rare ones, which I don't really think we need the $500 bill, but the $1,000 and $10,000, absolutely. Now those two, I don't really know off the top of my head, but we should probably have some LGBTQ representation on there. So maybe on the $1,000 bill, you could use Marsha P. Johnson, who was an early defender of trans rights. And on, oh God, you'd have to have a sports bill too. All right, maybe, okay, no. If you're going to keep the $500 bill, make that a sports bill. So maybe I'll write this down, $500 bill sports. And I'll come back to that one. For the $10,000 one, God, it would really be nice to have a really famous writer. Who was that gay black poet back in the 60s? Oh, I'm drawing a blank on his name. I can see him. Not Langston Hughes. No. Baldwin. What the hell is this? James Baldwin. There you go. James Baldwin could be on the $10,000 bill. But for the $500 one, sports, you would almost have to put, oh man, I don't know if you want like Michael Jordan and Tiger Woods on there, but they are incredibly important. Billie Jean King would be a good balance. If you're going to have Michael Jordan and Tiger Woods, you can also have maybe not Roger Maris, Mickey Mantle, and then Billie Jean King. God, we don't even have a music one because the music one is important too. Fuck, I didn't even think about James Dean and Elvis. Fuck. Well, you know what? What I did think about those. We have the coins coming up. Okay, for the penny, it's going to be Elvis. For the dime, we could use James Dean. For the quarter, it's going to be George Washington. Oh, wait, I forgot. I'm leaving Franklin the penny. The penny's Lincoln. The quarter is Washington. That's staying the same. The dime could be Elvis because he is a dime. And a nickel could be James Dean. And then you have the Sacagawea. I guess we could keep Sacagawea on there. It's kind of shitty that the only indigenous person I have is on a golden dollar nobody uses. But maybe make the golden dollar more relevant and have it be used more often. And since Susan B. Anthony is going to be on her own bill, I think I said that. If not, then you could keep her on the dollar coin, and then like with the Sacagawea, you just make it more readily available and easier to access. So those are the new faces of the American currency under the dictatorship of Angelo Grosso. But I held elections and I won in a landslide and there was no funny business. What do you think this is? China or Russia or the Middle East or in some parts of America? No. Woo. But that sports bill is going to be fun. So if we're bringing back the $500 bill, I got to think on that one. So let me circle that one. I'll come back to that on another podcast here. But I think we can almost wrap up here. I think we're almost out of time. So in closing, I hope everyone is staying cool over this 4-day stretch of hellish heat. We've already broken records in back-to-back days. And as I speak, I think we're at 106 or 107 degrees. Let me check my phone. My phone says 100, but I think earlier we were at 107 and 6 per the news. But you know how the news likes to inflate the stories. But yeah, I hope everyone's doing okay, is safe and cool. I'm lucky enough that I have a very good air conditioning unit in my house. My father has one. My mother, not so much, so I do worry about her. But yeah, as long as you stay inside, close the blinds, maybe get some fans and some ice or some water, stay hydrated. I don't know. I think you should be okay. It's going to cool off considerably the next few days, but still be in the 80s, but it's better than the fucking 100s. I wanted to talk about a few more things, but I think we'll just save that for another time. I was in the shower thinking how successful the Oprah book club was, and I'm fairly certain that Michelle Obama has her own book club. And I thought, is there a book club for men? And then I started thinking about which man would have a book club that would inspire the whole male sex to read more. And the first two names that came into my head were Joe Rogan and Tim Dillon, but I'm sure there's others. So we'll dive into that one a little bit late. Another iteration of the podcast, to use fancy wordage. So hope everyone has a good 4th of July. I will recap my trip on another podcast. So in closing, don't do anything I wouldn't do. Take it sleazy. Treat others as you want to be treated. And yeah, stay cool. God bless America. Go 4th of July. Don't really give a fuck about fireworks. Don't blow yourself up. Don't blow anything up. I don't know why fireworks are legal. If it was up to me, it would be illegal to do fireworks outside of having a license to do it. But maybe that's just me. Maybe I'm just an old fogey cunt. Who knows? But I love you guys. See you guys around the bend. By the way, if you've ever wondered what music do I listen to get hyped up before recording a podcast, here it is.
Buzz it on that beat, oh. 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 Buzz it on that beat, buzz it on that beat, oh. 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 Buzz it on that beat. Oh, 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 buzz it on that beat. Buzz it on that beat. Oh, buzz it on that beat. Oh, buzz it on that beat. Buzz it nigga don't have. Buzz it on that beat. Oh, I don't fuck with you. Buzz it on that beat. Oh, 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 buzz it on that beat.